Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Make undecipherable or imperceptible by obscuring or concealing. The dressed skin of an animal, especially a large animal. Body covering of a living animal. Prevent from being seen or discovered. Hide the money. Be or go into hiding. Keep out of sight, as for protection and safety. Cover as if with a shroud. Make undecipherable or imperceptible by obscuring or concealing. Make undecipherable or imperceptible by obscuring or concealing. Mark for deletion, rub off, or erase. Remove completely from recognition or memory. Reduced to nothingness. Do away with completely, without leaving a trace. Not drawing attention. An obscure flaw. Make undecipherable or imperceptible by obscuring or concealing. Not famous or acclaimed. An obscure family. Not clearly expressed or understood. An obscure turn of phrase. Make unclear, indistinct, or blurred. Make obscure or unclear. The distinction was obscured. Make less visible or unclear. The stars are obscured by the clouds. Marked by difficulty of style or expression. Those who do not appreciate Kafka's work say his style is obscure. Remote and separate physically or socially. An obscure village. Difficult to find. An obscure retreat. Reduce a vowel to a neutral one, such as a schwa. Make undecipherable or imperceptible by obscuring or concealing. A veiled threat. A vestment worn by a priest at High Mass in the Roman Catholic Church. A silk shawl. The inner membrane of embryos in higher vertebrates, especially when covering the head at birth. A garment that covers the head and face. A membranous covering attached to the immature fruiting body of certain mushrooms. To obscure, or conceal with or as if with a veil. Women in Afghanistan veil their faces. Pass away rapidly. The dressed skin of an animal, especially a large animal. Of persons or their actions, able or disposed to inflict pain or suffering. Cause to fall by or as if by delivering a blow. Seam made by turning under or folding together and stitching the seamed materials to avoid rough edges. Sew a seam by folding the edges. The act of felling something, as a tree. Attack and bombard with or as if with missiles. Pelt the speaker with questions. The dressed hairy coat of a mammal. Rain heavily. Body covering of a living animal. Cast, hurl, or throw repeatedly with some missile. They pelted each other with snowballs. A member of any of several British or American groups consisting predominantly of young people who shave their heads. Some engage in white supremacist and anti-immigrant activities, and this leads to the perception that all skinheads are racist and violent. Climb awkwardly, as if by scrambling. Remove the bark of a tree. The rind of a fruit or vegetable. Strip the skin off. A natural protective body covering in sight of the sense of touch. Your skin is the largest organ of your body. Body covering of a living animal. Bruise, cut, or injure the skin or the surface of. The boy skinned his knee when he fell. A person whose head is bald or shaved. A bag serving as a container for liquids. It is made from the hide of an animal. An outer surface, usually thin. The skin of an airplane. A person's skin regarded as their life. He tried to save his skin. Prevent from being seen or discovered. Hold back. Keep from being perceived by others. She conceals her anger well. Be or go into hiding. Keep out of sight, as for protection and safety. A recording of a song that was first recorded or made popular by somebody else. They made a cover of a Beatles song. Form a cover over. The grass covered the grave. Clothe, as if for protection from the elements. Cover your head. A fixed charge by a restaurant or nightclub over and above the charge for food and drink. The act of concealing the existence of something by obstructing the view of it. The cover concealed their guns from enemy aircraft. Travel across or pass over. The caravan covered almost 100 miles each day. Span an interval of distance, space or time. The period covered the turn of the century. A covering that serves to conceal or shelter something. Under cover of darkness. Include in scope. Include as part of something broader. Have as one sphere or territory. This should cover everyone in the group. Fire that makes it difficult for the enemy to fire on your own individuals or formations. Artillery provided covering fire for the withdrawal. Put something on top of something else. Cover the meat with a lot of gravy. A natural object that covers or envelops. Under a covering of dust. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. Make up for shortcomings or a feeling of inferiority by exaggerating good qualities. Bedding that keeps a person warm in bed. He pulled the covers over his head and went to sleep. Hide from view or knowledge. The president covered the fact that he bugged the offices in the White House. Be responsible for reporting the details of, as in journalism. The cub reporter covered New York City. Covering for a hole, especially a hole in the top of a container. Put the cover back on the kettle. Act on verbally or in some form of artistic expression. The course covered all of Western civilization. Sit on, eggs. The female covers the eggs. Protect by insurance. The insurance won't cover this. Cover as if with a shroud. Copulate with a female, used especially of horses. The horse covers the mare. A false identity and background, especially one created for an undercover agent. Her new name and passport or cover for her next assignment. Be responsible for guarding an opponent in a game. Be sufficient to meet, defray, or offset the charge or cost of. Is this enough to cover the check? Help out by taking someone's place and temporarily assuming his responsibilities. She is covering for our secretary who is ill this week. Hold within range of an aimed firearm. Invest with a large or excessive amount of something. She covered herself with glory. Maintain a check on, especially by patrolling. The second officer covered the top floor. Play a higher card than the one previously played. Smith covered again. Protect or defend, a position in a game. He covered left field. Provide for. The grant doesn't cover my salary. Provide with a covering or cause to be covered. Cover her face with a handkerchief. Spread over a surface to conceal or protect. This paint covers well. To take an action to protect against future problems. Count the cash in the drawer twice just to cover yourself. Cover as if with a shroud. Nautical. A line, rope or chain, that regulates the angle at which a sail is set in relation to the wind. Cover as if with a shroud. The origins of this civilization are shrouded in mystery. Burial garment in which a corpse is wrapped. A line that suspends the harness from the canopy of a parachute. Form a cover like a shroud. Mist shrouded the castle. Wrap in a shroud. Shroud the corpses. Insert words into texts, often falsifying it thereby. Cause to change, make different, cause a transformation. The advent of the automobile may have altered the growth pattern of the city. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Remove the ovaries of. Make an alteration to. This dress needs to be altered. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. The car changed lanes. Cause to change, make different, cause a transformation. The discussion has changed my thinking about the issue. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. He changed his name. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The change was intended to increase sales. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Her mood changes in accordance with the weather. Give to, and receive from, one another. Would you change places with me? Become deeper in tone. His voice began to change when he was 12 years old. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. She changed in Chicago on her way to the East Coast. A difference that is usually pleasant. It is a refreshing change to meet a woman mechanic. A different or fresh set of clothes. She brought a change in her overnight bag. A relational difference between states, especially between states before and after some event. He attributed the change to their marriage. A thing that is different. He inspected several changes before selecting one. Change clothes. Put on different clothes. Coins of small denomination regarded collectively. He had a pocketful of change. Money received in return for its equivalent in a larger denomination or a different currency. He got change for a 20 and used it to pay the taxi driver. Remove or replace the coverings of. Father had to learn how to change the baby. The action of changing something. The change of government had no impact on the economy. The balance of money received when the amount you tender is greater than the amount due. I paid with a 20 and pocketed the change. The result of alteration or modification. There were marked changes in the lining of the lungs. Undergo a change. Become different in essence, losing one's or its original nature. She changed completely as she grew older. Cause to change. Make different. Cause a transformation. Add a modifier to a constituent. Make less severe or harsh or extreme. Please modify this letter to make it more polite. The outer covering of an animal. Any covering for the body or a body part. Arrange or fold as a cover or protection. Wrap the baby before taking her out. Arrange or coil around. She wrapped her arms around the child. The covering, usually paper or cellophane, in which something is wrapped. Enclose or enfold completely with or as if with a covering. Cloak that is folded or wrapped around a person. A sandwich in which the filling is rolled up in a soft tortilla. Crash into so as to coil around. The teenager wrapped his car around the fire hydrant. Enclose or enfold completely with or as if with a covering. Enclose or enfold completely with or as if with a covering. Fog enveloped the house. Enclose or enfold completely with or as if with a covering. Surround completely. Darkness enclosed him. Close in. Darkness enclosed him. Enclose or enfold completely with or as if with a covering. Place, fit, or thrust, something, into another thing. Be a mystery or bewildering to. Make mysterious. Mystify the story. Untanned hide, especially of cattle. Cut in strips, it is used for whips and ropes. The hide of a goat. Leather made from the hide of a cow. A heavy flexible whip braided from leather made from the hide of a cow. Flog with a cowhide. The hide of a cow. The act of concealing the identity of something by modifying its appearance. He is a master of disguise. An outward semblance that misrepresents the true nature of something. The theatrical notion of disguise is always associated with catastrophe in his stories. Make unrecognizable. We disguised our faces before robbing the bank. Any attire that modifies the appearance in order to conceal the wearer's identity. Hide from view or knowledge. Make overcast or cloudy. A group of many things in the air or on the ground. Clouds of blossoms. Place under suspicion or cast doubt upon. Make less visible or unclear. The stars are obscured by the clouds. Color with streaks or blotches of different shades. A cause of worry or gloom or trouble. The only cloud on the horizon was the possibility of descent by the French. Any collection of particles, e.g., smoke or dust, or gases that is visible. A visible mass of water or ice particles suspended at a considerable altitude. Billow up in the form of a cloud. The smoke clouded above the houses. Make gloomy or depressed. Their faces were clouded with sadness. Make less clear. The stroke clouded memories of her youth. Make milky or dull. The chemical clouded the liquid to which it was added. Out of touch with reality. His head was in the clouds. Suspicion affecting your reputation. After that mistake he was under a cloud. Confusion characterized by lack of clarity. An atmosphere in which visibility is reduced because of a cloud of some substance. Make less visible or unclear. Droplets of water vapor suspended in the air near the ground.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.